Next week on Emmerdale, the village feels like it is sitting on a lit match. One secret plan may collapse before it can save anyone. One blackmailer tightens the trap around Charity. And at the farm, another fire turns suspicion into paranoia. But the biggest question may be this: who is really in control? Because from May 18th to May 22nd, Dawn's deception could put her in serious danger. Charity may be forced into a desperate sale, and Aaron and Robert may discover that the arsonist is much closer than they ever imagined. So let's break down the biggest moments coming next week. The tension around Joe Tate is already dangerous, but next week, it begins to spiral. Sam is furious when he realizes Dawn, Cain, and Moira have been working on a plan without telling him. From Sam's point of view, this is not just a family matter. Joe has caused enough damage, and Sam feels like he has been pushed to the side while everyone else makes decisions. At the Woolpack, Cain and Joe's tension rises fast. Cain is angry, wounded, and struggling to control himself. He may be recovering physically, but emotionally, Joe is still the person he wants to confront. And when Cain is pushed too far, everyone knows how dangerous that can become. Moira arrives just in time, and one look from her is enough to make Cain back down. But that moment does not fix anything. If anything, it proves how close they are to losing control. Later, at the Dingles' home, Cain is still furious. Moira realizes the plan is at risk, and she tells Dawn that she should leave quickly and take the children with her. But Dawn is no longer sure she can do it. And that hesitation changes everything. Dawn shocks Moira when she admits she cannot just walk out on Joe after all. This is where the story becomes more complicated. Dawn is not simply afraid. She wants to win on her own terms. She does not want to run. She does not want Joe to decide the ending. And in her mind, staying may feel like taking power back. But staying close to Joe also means staying close to danger. When the conversation later turns to the wedding, Joe talks about wanting a big happy family. That one phrase seems innocent on the surface, but for Dawn, it lands like a warning. She is carrying a deception, and the more Joe talks about family, the more suffocating that secret becomes. Then Graham arrives at home farm. And suddenly, the audience gets a much darker signal. Graham and Joe appear to be onto Dawn. This is not just suspicion anymore. Graham urges Joe to act quickly, and Joe reassures him that he has a plan. That is a chilling line, because with Joe, a plan rarely means something simple. Later, Graham returns and finds Dawn unconscious at the bottom of the stairs, while Joe stands at the top. That image raises huge questions. Did Dawn fall? Was there a confrontation? Did Joe cause it? Or is something even more calculated happening? The spoiler also says Joe makes a confession later. But what is he confessing to, and who hears it? This could be the moment Dawn's entire scheme turns against her. While Dawn is trapped inside a dangerous game with Joe, Charity is facing a very different kind of threat. Dr. Todd wants £10,000 to keep quiet about the secret that Ross and Charity are baby Layla's biological parents. And next week, Charity's options start disappearing one by one. She is furious when she is denied a loan extension. Then Todd sends another message, reminding her that the debt is still waiting. Charity tries to find a way out, and for a moment, it looks like selling her share of the Woolpack to Ruby might be possible. But Caleb quickly shuts that idea down. He worries about the reaction from the village, and he knows how messy it could become if Ruby gets involved in the pub. For Charity, that is not just a business setback. It is another door slamming shut. And Todd knows it. The situation becomes even more uncomfortable when Charity finds Todd holding baby Layla in her living room. That is not just a visit. It feels like a power move. Todd is showing Charity that the secret is not abstract. It is living, breathing, and right there in front of them. Then comes the ultimatum: 1 week to get the money. No negotiation, no delay, no escape. Charity is used to fighting back, but this time, Todd has the leverage. And that may be what scares Charity most. The worst part for Charity is that Todd is not only pressuring her privately. Todd is also getting closer to Vanessa. At Tug Gill, Vanessa is pleased when Todd seems serious about their romance. Todd says there is no desire to rush things, which makes Vanessa feel respected and hopeful. But the audience knows there is another layer. Todd seems more interested in whether Charity has replied to the message. That detail matters, because it suggests the romance may not be as innocent as Vanessa believes. Later, Todd turns the pressure up again by organizing a darts match with Mac and Ross. On paper, it looks casual. But Todd uses it to ask questions and dig into Charity's private life. Charity confronts Todd in the toilets and tells the doctor to back off. But the problem is simple. Charity has no real power while Todd is holding the secret. That is why Charity tries to warn Vanessa. She urges her to be careful, but Vanessa is excited about where things are going. Sarah also overhears enough to become angry, especially given Todd's past with Jacob. By the end of the week, Charity is desperate enough to make another bold move. She offers her half of the wool pack to Kim at a discounted price. That tells us everything. Charity is not just looking for money anymore. She is looking for freedom. But will Kim help her, or use Charity's desperation for her own advantage? Meanwhile, Aaron and Robert are dealing with a threat that refuses to go away. A second fire breaks out at the farm, this time dangerously close to a feed store. They manage to put it out, but the message is clear: someone is targeting them. Aaron immediately suspects Joe, and honestly, it is not hard to understand why. Joe is already surrounded by conflict, and his name keeps appearing near trouble. But then the suspicion shifts. Cain arrives late for work, looking tired and unsettled, with his shirt on backwards. It may be nothing. Or it may be the kind of strange detail soap writers include for a reason. At the same time, Sam and Ross begin acting suspiciously. They inspect a barn at Emmerdale farm and decide it is exactly what they need for their secret plan. Ross even hands Sam a lighter and tells him to do the honors. That moment makes the audience question everything. Are Sam and Ross connected to the fires? Are they setting up something else entirely? Or are they about to accidentally make themselves look guilty? When Aaron and Robert spot Ross at the barn, he claims he was looking for the arsonist. Then he offers to investigate for a fee. Robert considers it, but when a third fire happens, the fear becomes real. Robert starts to believe they are being deliberately targeted. Ross suggests Kev could be responsible, but Aaron wonders if they know enough about Cain. Then Robert agrees to triple Ross's pay. That may be a mistake. Because Aaron is beginning to suspect Ross himself could be the arsonist. And neither Aaron nor Robert realizes that Cain is listening nearby, clearly alarmed. So by the end of the week, the farm mystery is no longer only about fire. It is about trust, money, and who is hiding the biggest secret. Away from the blackmail and arson, Cain is still fighting a quieter but very personal war. Liam urges him to put his pride aside as he continues recovering. But Cain does not want advice. He does not want weakness. And after his catheter is removed, he seems even more determined to handle things his own way. That is very Cain. He can face enemies. He can face danger. But facing his own limitations may be harder than any confrontation with Joe. Later, Pollard urges Cain to meet his challenges head-on. And that may be exactly what Cain needs to hear, even if he does not want to admit it. Because Cain's recovery is not just about his body. It is about whether he can accept help before his anger pushes him into another disaster. So next week on Emmerdale, almost every storyline is built around pressure. Dawn is trapped between fear and control. Charity is running out of time. Aaron and Robert are chasing an arsonist who may be hiding in plain sight. And Cain is still fighting himself as much as anyone else. But the biggest mystery may be what really happens at Home Farm. If Dawn is found unconscious and Joe is standing above her, then the village may be heading toward one of its darkest turning points yet. What do you think? Is Joe responsible for Dawn's fall? Is Ross playing Robert and Aaron? And will Charity really sell her share of the wool pack to escape Todd? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more Emmerdale spoilers and breakdowns.